Hello everyone, this is my project proposal for this curriculum. My interest is my main interest is acoustics, and so this project will be on acoustics specifically. Also because I had an internship with Oralex Acoustics this spring. It lasted about 2 months, and the purpose of the project is to find ways to enhance acoustical measurement accuracy. Um, for the purpose of maximizing acoustical treatment um, for reverberation. Now, this project will focus on the use of ultrasonic waves and ultrasonic sensors for 3D reconstruction. Why? The reason is because those who work in acoustics knows that the best way to predict a room acoustics, whether it's before it's been built or even when it has been built, is to have the 3D representation of the room if you are not able to be there by yourself. And also because it involves many other things, so a 3D representation that you can use and plug in a software is a best option. So I'm using the constructivism theory and the communities of practice theory by Jean Lave, which says that when people who have the same passion or the same interest gather together, they learn more. And so for myself, being at Oralex Acoustic, I was able to be with those experts and learn from them, pick up their brains and so learned a lot. A little bit of literature review. Architectural acoustics involves mostly two aspects, which are soundproofing first, and then second, absorption, which is the remedy to reverberation. Reverberation is caused by sound waves reflecting on the walls in a room, walls or ceilings. And so we have some acoustical products, absorption specifically, absorbent product, and those are acoustical wall panels, also acoustical baffles, and also bass traps. Those absorb sound at different frequencies, each one of them. Of course, bass trap absorb low frequency sound, usually under 100 hertz, and those usually concentrate in the corners. And this is an example of a room kit by Oralex. Um, those are those are bass traps in the corners, and those are acoustic foam on wall and ceiling here. And now every absorbent material has what's called, whether it's wall panels or baffles or bass traps, all of those have what's called an absorbent coefficient, which is the amount of sound that the product or the foam is able to absorb and how much it can reduce the sound so it will not be reflected as it came to the it will not be as big as it was when it came first to the to be absorbed by the wall panel. And then it's good to also know that they absorb sound at different frequencies, just like we said. And one thing to know is that if you want to deal with reverberation in a room, you have to first know the reverberation time of the room. And there are ways to find it. Wallace Clement Sabine was the first guy pioneer in the acoustic field, and so he was the first guy to come up with a method of um, measuring the reverberation time of a room. So what he used was an organ. He would play, and then he would shut the organ in the church and time the time it would take for the sound to die out. That time would be the reverberation time of the room. And so another technique is actually to use to record an impulse sound at different frequencies, because the acoustical products are also tested, and they are tested at different frequencies. So you want to be able to record an impulse sound at those different frequencies in order to compare them and see how the product is going to absorb the sound. So now talking about treatment design, most acoustical consulting firm or consultants use a spreadsheet. That spreadsheet would incorporate all the formulas, mathematical formulas, and for calculating a room reverberation based on the dimensions of the room that you would plug in, the materials of the walls and all, and it would give you, everything that you need, and then you can apply the different specifications of your products, the acoustical products, to see how the room is going to behave once you plug those in. But the problem with that is, with the spreadsheet, is that it's based on a four-wall configuration, so square and rectangular rooms. So what do you do if you do not have a square and rectangular room? You can always use the volume of the overall volume of the room, but still it's not as accurate because you need to know how the walls are positioned and placed, because that's how the sound is reflected. And so my best bet, and of course, most people know it, is to use a 3D acoustic modeling software. There are softwares like that. Ease is one of them. It's a German company. Odeon is another one. It's a Danish company. They are really, really great. If I had time, I would have played some videos, but I don't. So go. So with those 3D softwares, you are able to know where, how things happen in the room. Actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to play it. I'll just show you an example of it, so you will see. Yeah, this is this. So here you can see an example of that. Those are reflections. There's a sound source that is, played, and then it shows you how the sound will be reflected. All those lines are sound that are reflected. They match the wall and they go to another one and all. So this is an example of that. It's the same thing as Odeon. It's just that, So when you have this kind of software, it's great because you can actually tell how sounds are going to behave, and you can specifically know and tell where to put your acoustical foam in order to absorb the sound. And the good thing about those software also is that you can use you can actually simulate a voice to hear how the amount, how the reverberation will be in the room. So you're going to play the voice, and depending on the materials that you have put in the room, the software would automatically make you hear how it's going to sound like after you have put in the materials, the acoustical products. Now, to continue, going back to the center of this project, it takes time to, well, you're not going to have 3D files for every room that you run into, especially in Gabon, where I'm from. So I have thought about a way to automatically find automatically have the 3D rendering of the space that I'm in, so I can plug it in the software and then have a better and more accurate treatment design for the room. And so I've thought about mammals, ultrasonic technology, like a bat, for example, that uses ultrasonic sounds to know what's in front of it. And also in construction, there's what's called laser measure tools, or ultrasonic distance measuring tools. So I think the same idea can be applied to 3D reconstruction. And there's an example here that I want to show you, but I think we don't have time. So I'm talking about, and I found actually what's called an ultrasonic 3D modeler. So it's a piece of equipment and software at the same time that allows you to send ultrasonic waves and also use ultrasonic sensors to reconstruct the 3D model of the room that you're in. The basic range of that product, which is made by a team from India and China, is 10 meters by 10 meters, and this is great because I don't have to plug anything to plug anything in AutoCAD or SketchUp, because it takes time to rebuild something like that. So I just want to be able to have those automatically when I come into a room. And so that's the project. And so the age or the audience, of course, are going to be professionals in the acoustical consulting field, and also architects. Okay, and so now the sequence of the project is, of course, for me to exchange with the team behind the S3DM, and then I have to work on getting and testing the prototype because it was a prototype. It's not available yet, and then I have to try it with a sensor that has a greater range than the initial 10 by 10 meters. Because some of the rooms that I know back home, well, anyways, there are bigger rooms than that. And then I have to work on making sure that it's compatible with either Ease or Odeon, or it also can be compatible with 3D design software such as AutoCAD and Google SketchUp, which are also types of files that are compatible with Ease and Odeon that we've seen a little bit before. And so that's the project, and I hope you liked it. Thank you. This is a small example of the 3D reconstruction with ultrasonic sensors. Well, looks like it's not working. There it is. Okay. So this is a guy that made this video. Of course, he's using those boxes as if it were walls, as if they were walls. And this is the reconstruction of it. That's how it's reconstructing the thing. And of course, that 3D modeler has to be, has to work on a 360 angle. To be able to take, of course, front, back, left, right, everywhere, So this is just an example of it, and this way you can see what I'm talking about more. There it is. But this is just a very, very basic example of course, the S3DM by the team from India is much more advanced than that. So this is my presentation. Thank you.